Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wartscenter, the show all about the Northern Kingdom's Blood Bowl League. We had another week, and we had some more Blood Bowl. And I am joined with a whole smattering of co-hosts today. We have Coach Cody, Coach Ivan, which you all know and love, but we have some new guests, Coach Holloway and Coach Joe. Welcome, guys.
Hey, hello. We'd like to see.
All right. So they'll be helping me today as we go through all of the news and notes throughout the league. But we're going to switch things up a little bit. We're going to go straight into the reserve box section of our show and talk about some of the extra news, because there's big news today. All right. So you guys may have heard that there has been a change in the league. So unfortunately, Joe, who's here with us, was unable to continue the rest of the season due to some personal reasons. We're not going to get into that. Joe's okay. He's still here. Hi, Joe. And we love him. He's a good friend. But yeah, just some things outside of the league had to take priority. So he has stepped away. But all is not lost. We have a new challenger. A new foe has appeared, and it's the Polypore Pipers. This is a gnome team that is a gnome team, so fresh new team that is coached by my wife.
My wife.
Yep. Mrs. Coyle herself. So we're gonna talk more. We're gonna take our moment in the reserve box to talk about her and her team. So this is the team. She did just complete her week 4 matchup that was supposed to happen between Joe and the Dragonaires. That game happened last night. So as you see on the lineup here, she's missing 2 missed next games. But apart from that, the roster is still intact. So the roster is pretty standard. She's got 2 treemen, 2 of the foxes, 2 of the beastmasters, only 1 of the illusionists, and then a lot of linemen. Anything to say? I know when we first started the season, we went through all the rosters and took our takes. Anything to say about the roster from anyone here?
I absolutely love the names. Love the theming.
That was going to be my first comment also, was the names.
I was like, Patron, that's cute. Cuervo. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yep.
All the dots are coming together.
Yep. So, yeah, we'll talk about her matchup a little bit here shortly.
Do I see a tie?
A tie, yes. So
whoa,
shocker, it was a tie, and I will give you a little bit of an Easter egg. There were 11 events on that stat sheet. There were 11 recorded statistics. So it was not just a ho-hum tie. It was a fucking insane game.
Skin of your teeth. We love to see it.
Yep. Yep. All right, so that's the reserve box. We moved up front just because I wanted to welcome our new coach and get you guys up to speed with the changes happening in the league. But we've had a week, haven't we?
It has been a week of Blood Bowl.
Yep.
Two game, my goodness.
So yeah, the Listens with Attitude continues their undefeated streak with a 2-0 victory over the Vermin Skulkers. The Butcher's Bay Dragons tie with the SCLSU Mudclaws. The Black Forest Guardians continue their short win streak with a win over the Undeheim Mighty Rats 2-1. The Polypore Pipers tie in their debut with the league with the Gloomstalker Dragonaires, a 2-2 tie. It's not on here just because it was happening last minute, but the Los Alamos Aliens will win 2-0 over the Amazonian Snoo due to a forfeit and scheduling conflict. The Khazad-dûm Dark Iron defeat the Matriarchs 2-1 in a last-minute score, from what I understand, which we'll get into. Mm-hmm. And then you guys saw last week the Ubtaus Chosen Grung win 3-1 over the Manhattan Mutant Mayhem.
Mm-mm.
between all the mistakes, we played a game of Blood Bowl.
Yep. I mean, there were
Small train wreck.
there were some things, but it's Blood Bowl. Things get missed all the time. We run a league of 14 people. There's bound to be some things get missed, but we're all just here having a good time and trying to get it as accurate as we can. So I think
14
everyone,
people and at least 7 of us are idiots.
yep,
You
and
know,
I think everyone does a great job, all things considered. So, all right, so let's get into each individual match here. We've got the Lizzes and the Skulkers. So the Skulkers again, I think this might be their third 0-0. So just the most unlucky start I've really ever seen. So my heart goes out to you, Skulkers, because
You feel bad for the rats.
SPP has been very hard to come by, unfortunately. But yeah, it looks like on the other end, the Lizzes, they started, they got the crowd involved early with a casualty. Then Gek Ross took out Skitch Square. And then they ended off the half. The Skulkers hurt himself. Tretch Venomfang went for a dodge, I believe, and ended up causing a miss next game against himself. Two Croc pulls the touchdown in the second half. A couple more another casualty comes through, then Two Croc does it again, doubles up for the second touchdown. I know. Is it Cody? Were you here for this game?
I was here for this game, yeah.
Care to comment?
Yeah.
It was just, honestly, both coaches played exceptionally well. They both were doing what they could. The Skulkers were able to induce the Helmet Wolf, the chainsaw, and Skitter Stab is another gutter runner, and immediately was using the gutter runner to try to stab and harass behind the line of sources to like get at the skinks. And the chainsaw was doing in work, but just not a lot of good rolls to actually do really any significant damage to the teams, the Lizards, unfortunately. And Lizards just kind of were able to bully their way to the ball, and once they had the ball, they were able to just kind of like just shift and kind of go where they wanted to go. And Rats were harassing them the entire way up the field, but it was just one of those games where it just a lot of bad rolls for one person and just great rolls for Jesse. He had some great rolls and was like getting like 3 Kazs, absolutely, but so many stuns and KOs as well. It was a very good game. It was a very good game, but I could tell the Skulkers were just having some rough luck in that game. But they still kept with it and had good spirits the entire time, so kudos to them for not even once getting irritated about any aspect of playing their game. They were having fun the entire time.
Wonderful to hear.
What's not fun about football with elves?
Exactly.
Yep. And I believe the photo that was sent to us that I've included here, it was pretty late in the game, as you can see, just Sources, Croxagore, just battering down on some Skaven, which all of these, fun fact, all of these, both teams, I believe, were painted by our Skulkers coach. So
they are.
So well,
Coach Chadwell is a professional. If you are in the area,
He's the guy? I didn't know that.
Yep. So well done. They look great.
If you're in the area and want a commission, he is available.
We won't tell you what area, but that's.
Indeed. The Lizard with attitude continuing to prove to be a force.
And minus movement, gutter runner.
Yes.
That's rough.
That's a kick ender right there.
Yep. Which it won't
But
come up.
he fired him, didn't he?
Raxcat at the end of the game was fired for his broken leg. Yes.
Okay.
Cruel world.
To me at a job once. I just worked at an office. It was odd.
Jeez. All right. Well, moving on over, we've got the Butchers Bay Dragons and the SCLSU Mudclaws with their tie. The Dragons, if casualties were a point, the Dragons would have eked out, so they come out a little healthier than the other. The Townie Rob hurt himself to start off pretty early on, I believe, on a dodge out. Then
whoa! Do I see that Professor Colonel Sanders killed himself?
Yes, we're getting there.
Oh my!
Yep. Yeah. So Rebecca hurt Bobby Boucher, but he took a little bit of that shot they give you on the sideline they don't tell nobody about, and he got back in. Yeah, Colonel Sanders attempted to he scored a touchdown, and then later on turn 12 in the second half, he attempted a dodge out, I believe, and died.
Broke his own neck. Yeah.
Broke his own neck. So dodges are scary, guys. Be careful out there. Watch your footing.
As the Wu-Tang Clan always says, protect your neck.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, this was Rebecca did get a touchdown in the late second half to even it up before closing out the night, but and then like literally this was a story of self casualties. Townie Rob dodged out, couldn't get it done. Colonel Sanders dodges out, kills himself. Lucy Hunt dodges out, hurts herself, badly hurt. Michael Fitzwilliam dodges out, hurts himself, niggling injury. Like it's crazy because there were casualties. There wasn't just 2 casualties. There were just 2 that were one team hitting the other team, causing a casualty.
There were more Kazes, self-caused Kazes, than actual Kazes from the other team.
Right.
It was
playing fast and loose in Butcher's Bay. So crazy stuff. Yeah, that was probably the most interesting match when I was putting it together. It's like, I don't think I've ever seen this much carnage off of just trying to position, essentially. So anything else to say about this match before we move on?
Just R.I.P.
Yeah. We'll get there.
it was a fun match. It was a good match.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Black Forest Guardians, that's me, defeats the Underheim Mighty Rats. 3 casualties for me, 2 for Laws. This one was an insane match. So I was down a good chunk of TV, so I ended up taking Kiroth Krakeneye to attempt to use his tentacles and tackle on some gutter runners to keep them in line. Didn't really come up that often. Didn't actually work the one time he tried to use tentacles, but he was a good extra like blitzing piece. So that was pretty nice. But as you see, this first half stats here, we got off to a hot start. Douglas Fur pulled in one of his gutter runners, lasting injury minus movement. Stank Dustbuster, which is one of his linemen that has kick, block, and claws. The claws being the thing I was most afraid of. I managed to give him an edge bust. The apothecary was used, and then he missed next game. So that's terrible because that means he was gone either way. He'll be able to come back healthy, but yeah, I mean, for the purpose of that game, I was ecstatic at that moment. And we're only 3 turns in. Then the Mighty Rats I managed to bust through and get to a position where I could score due to the casualties, and then I believe there were some knockouts involved as well. And then Laws, he was trying to claw his way back and managed to edge bust my thrower. So Gnarled Barkley is now agility 3 elf, but he has leader and dump off. So I'm probably going to try to make it work. He is also he's the passing leader in the league still. So I want him to still carry on that legacy. He's just not going to have a little bit of hard time picking up the ball. But yeah, we got Cole Cindertail, which is his leveled gutter runner. I believe it's a blodge gutter runner. Got him into the crowd, missed next game, and the crowd got involved. Scored on turn 8, and then that was the first half. It was all Guardians, right? The second half, even though Laws fielded maybe 5 or 6 players on his half, the narrative completely switched. He gets a foul, causes another edge bust on one of my linemen. completes a pass, manages to squeak through and score. Now, there were 2 moments in that drive where I was just trying to blitz his ball carrier, and I had to roll a go for it. And each time I failed it. One time I used a reroll and still failed it. So just a wild series that led to him being able to score with very few pieces. But I was able to pull off the 2-turn touchdown on the way back. It was not easy. There was there was a few rolls that had to be made right there at the end. I had Kiroth. Kiroth either had to make a go for it or he had to make a handoff to my catcher, which has catch, and then let him score. I figured the 2+ with the reroll was better than the 2+ without, so we did the handoff. Forrest Stump got us touchdown. We walked away with a win. So yeah, that was a good one. But my matches with Laws are always fun, and lately they've been like this, where a tale of 2 halves.
I feel like at this point he's out for blood,
Oh yeah,
considering the history there.
yep,
He
yeah,
most likely is,
Yep.
and deservedly so.
yep, yeah. Given our history, I've gotten the better of him in every match up until our most recent one, before this one. That was in our playoff game no, I'm losing my mind. It was during the season, and he beat me at a 2-1, and then we've starting to go back and forth now, so now it's fun. All right, and I'm just gonna keep yapping because I've been here for all of these. Polypore Parpers. See what I mean? There was a lot happening.
Man, you were lying.
Yeah, so the Pipers were down 270K. She decided to take Zug. So Mighty Zug, great big guy, no negatrait, mighty blow block, right? And he decided he wanted to get in on some action early. He took out Grudiger. He killed Scompton. Later on down the line, he took out Ruis. So, I mean, by turn 5, 3 Dark Elves are gone, and there was only 1 casualty on a lineman in reverse for the Gnomes. So, not often you would find a tier 3 team with a numbers advantage, but that is what happened. Yeah, Tito the lineman, he scored the touchdown. The Fox ran up and got into a position to score, got knocked down, the ball bounced, the lineman dodged out, picked it up, managed to salvage the score. It was a wild sequence of events. The Dragonaires managed to squeak by and use their extra speed that they have on the Gnomes to score on the latter part of the first half. Then some more casualties finally started coming through in the second half for the Dragonaires. They got Patron. They got one of the Foxes gone. They got Captain, one of the linemen, and then they put together a drive. It was really interesting because all of the passes were off of dump offs. So they were driving down. The Pipers would swarm and get a hit on the ball. He would do the dump off, threw the ball back, completed it, get a little SPP, and then continue driving. So it was really fun to watch. Yeah, and then another casualty on the Illusionist later on. However, the Dragonaires put the score in on turn 13, giving the Pipers a shot, and they took the shot, they ran it up, and got the score to equalize. Turn 16, which was also interesting as well. The Dragonaires recovered or received. They pick up the ball. They go to pick up the ball. They go to throw it. The pass fails, so it deviates out of play, and then goes into the Pipers' backfield, where on their turn 16, they could have possibly tried to throw a gnome into the end zone for a game-winning touchdown. But it's been a minute since she has been getting back up to speed with Blood Bowl, so the play wasn't evident, but there was that shot.
Sounds
Coming
like an
up to
incredible
speed.
game.
Yeah, coming up to speed and still managed to do 2-2.
Yeah.
I'd say that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mighty Zug definitely pulled his weight. Three Kazas in the first half is wild.
Oh yeah.
The same person.
Oh yeah. There
Also,
was sorry.
did he
Go-
not use his Apo on the guy who died?
He did not, because Scompton is a lineman.
Okay, he wanted to save it for a more
He wanted to save it.
prominent piece.
He decided to save it for Ruiz, who is a blitzer.
Mhm.
And then, unfortunately, the roll was a 9, so it was missed next game. Hillary re-rolled after the Apo was used and got a 7, which is still missed next game. So it was used, just not to any great effect, unfortunately. So
Understood.
yep. Oh yeah, and then I forgot to mention, in the first half, the ball was knocked out of the Fox's hands. It bounced onto the tree. He caught it on a natural 6. So at one point, the tree had the ball before he walked away and handed it off to a Fox later, because there was no way there was no guarantee that tree was going to ever make it to the end zone before
I would've
the half
tried.
expired. Yeah. Yeah.
That's insane because foxes don't even have hands.
Nope. They put it in their mouth.
That's the wild part. Yep.
Yep. But they do have my ball. So once they have the ball, they won't let it go. But yeah, it was a fun debut for a fresh team, and the first time seeing gnomes in our league's history. So not that they've been around for that long, but you know. All right, and then like we said here, this was a forfeit situation. We'll have more data on the SPP that gets accrued later on, but as of right now, that's still tentative. All right, Cody, I'm gonna shut up. How'd your match go?
Honestly, it went well. I'm not upset. I can't be upset about a win, but I just the shockingly low amount of Kaz's, I mean, was honestly just the most shocking thing to me. Honest,
I was going to say, it was nice to see you show mercy to your opponent this game.
No,
I
it
think that was
wasn't
the
even.
case.
Wasn't even that. Conservatively, and the Matriarch's coach agreed with me on this. I wish we had kept track about every time I had broken armor, because I would conservatively say every single turn I broke at least 3 players' armors on his team, probably more. So that's like what, 48. I broke his armor probably close to 50 times that match, and it was all either stuns, KOs. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was still like at least probably 2 to 3 players stunned, and was probably getting a KO or 2 like every turn to every other turn. So like by the time like 3 or 4 turn 4 or 5, half his team was off the pitch in the KO box anyway. So similar results, but just not as great. But yeah, it was just a game of my guys had no problem punching people to the ground, but would not do the finishing blow. They were going. My dice were having mercy, despite my best efforts, and I was. But I did enjoy the fact that I got a turn 16 touchdown off of essentially, what is that? 3 turns? Yeah. I had
Wow.
3 turns. Yeah, 3-turn touchdown, with the final one being a chain, with my cage being 3 or 4 spaces into his end zone and having to chain push the ball carrier with a blitz piece 1 space up just to mitigate at least one go for it, but still had to do 1 go for it, and ran in. And it was good. He definitely had to work for that last touchdown, but yeah, it was a very Amazons, even with all the tackle, were still just an annoying team to deal with. So it's like, if my team with as much tackle as I was dealing with them, then I can only imagine what teams without a lot of tackle are going to be dealing with when they get into playoff season. Like late season Amazons, more and more block. It's going to be terrifying. It's going to be.
I'll tell you, game 1 it was pretty rough.
It was a complete fuck. It's going to be an absolute menace of a team to deal with very, very quickly, and just getting worse. So, I mean, but the entire time it was honestly just a fun match. All in all, both the coach and I were having fun the entire time. Like we were both the coach did an exceptional job. He managed to squeeze through, push a little tiny gap open and push through, got a score, and actually managed to get near the end zone and stalled for about a turn until I started sending my players back to be like, okay, it's like, well, you're either going to stall or I'm going to hit, like, potentially knock the ball off your guy if you keep stalling. So he got a turn. He got one or two turns to stall, but I eventually forced his hand into going into the end zone.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like it came down to a go for it roll. So those fail 5 times out of 6, even though they're a 2+. So
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it was honestly just a really fun game.
great. And again, just like the Lizzes, you keep your undefeated streak alive as the one of the top 2 teams in each respective division. All right. Now the moment we've all been waiting for, and the reason that we wanted Coach Holloway here with us to duke it out for a second time, this time with words, with Coach Ivan. How'd this game go, boys?
Yeah, I got some choice words.
All right. Let's hear it.
Good job.
No, yeah, it was a rough game. I was 3-1 score wise, but he made me work for every single touchdown that I had to get, and contrary to all the mistakes that were made, I mean, no, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
I had a blast, honestly, and it was not. We made mistakes, yes, but it was a high level game. We were all using abilities. We were just using everything in our arsenal. I was finally with my Minotaur. So this was his debut game. He got some nice SPP for some Kazas. I was punching frogs left and right, but man, those guys, they bounce back. Frogs are made of rubber.
They look real frail, but with that 9 armor class or whatever, it really keeps them up there.
Keeps them up there.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
Nah, he was in short, he just outmaneuvered me. Frogs too fast, too furious, too hoppy.
Too hoppy. I got to play with what's his name, Creek.
Creek Rust Gouger. Yep.
Yeah, Russ Gordon. He was not fun to play with.
He was very fun to have on your team, especially with frogs. Because, man, he was bashing a frog every turn.
Yep.
Usually the same frog.
Yeah.
I wanted to keep the high movement pieces occupied.
Makes sense.
No, that blitzer did not go. I think he did one thing, turn 2, and then spent the rest of the game all the way up until like turn 15. Either stunned or just locked down with Creek.
Yeah, no, you
There was
need
just
to
nothing he
get
could do.
him checked for concussions because that guy was stunned for a while.
Your medical staff is on it, I'm sure.
They had to be used for that one Kaz that happened to Timothy early on.
Okay. Yeah, so normally when we have our streamed match, we have the coaches on. We on and off sometimes forget to do it, sometimes we do it. We ask each coach a question, do like a short little like interview about the match and things. So Joe and Cody, be thinking of something. I'll stall for you. So the Uptow's Chosen Grung, you have won. Although you took a beating for it. What do you think was the key to your match over the Mayhem?
Definitely the mobility part of it.
Yep.
Just being able to jump into a box to mark somebody, even if he was just sitting there, it's always one extra guy he has to do. And if he's not expecting me to get into that box, I mean, that's all the better for it. He has 2 people locking down one of my guys, and I just hop away. Like, it just, you really can't beat how easily they hop from one part of the field to the next. Other than that, I mean, they don't really have strength. Speed, like actual speed, about average. 6 for everybody except for the faster pieces, which are only 7. So, I mean, like, honestly, just having the hops.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially like given the 2-turn touchdown, it was on display right there from the beginning. Just the ability to move where it doesn't make sense.
Oh yeah,
Great.
because it was a turn one, handed off to Titsa, jumped over the line and just went down the field.
Yep.
Could not
He
stop him as hard as I tried.
All right. And Ivan. So obviously you took a loss here, but you've been having an up and down season, but better than most of your previous. So what did you learn in this match that you're going to take with you throughout the remainder of the season?
Got to go for the legs. Uh, no, really, it's all about positioning when you got these high movement pieces, and I just need to, frankly, get better at it. Yeah, I can beat them, but with these, they're armored 9, so it's not like a rat where I can just crush one and then the problem solved. These frogs stay a problem, so I will end the problem next time I see them.
All right. Love to hear it.
terrifying.
All right, boys, you got any more questions for the
I
guys?
do.
Yep. Take
I
it
do
away.
have to ask, if I may. For both coaches, was it divine intervention or Nuffle's blessing that brought a 1-3-1-3 score all around?
I would call it Nuffle's curse.
It's a true mirror.
I'd say blessing, Nuffle's blessing myself.
Fancy that.
Mm-hmm.
My question for both coaches is, out of all the plays that happened during that game, what was the singular one that stood out to both of you that was like, ooh, that was not a good idea?
I think in mine, it was within the first 2 turns when he got the 2-turn touchdown. And it was just my positioning of my guys. I was trying to cage the wrong frogs. And then one frog went downfield, and I'm like, I should have probably stopped him. And I didn't, and he got the score.
Uh, same time frame for me was it didn't actually, I guess matter in the end, but like I had put all my frogs up on the line because he didn't have his people on the line, and due to the event that happened on the kickoff, he was able to just put all of his people up on the line and just really messed up any plan I had. It made it really difficult to work around. You'll see that it took me like 15 minutes for my first turn.
He was sweating,
The mod-
things
yeah,
were popping
yeah,
out
I
of his
was.
head. It was
I do one simple, 3+, handoff or whatever, and all of a sudden everything just goes downhill. It worked out. I'm glad it did, but like I would have done it differently. I would have put them one back on the sidelines. That way they weren't so close to everybody and could move around freely.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. All right,
Lesson
great.
learned.
Well, I had a blast editing it, and it was a great game. So thank you guys for putting your Blood Bowl on display for us.
anytime.
All right, so now we're going to talk about stats. This is our top 10 SPP of all time for this season. Not all time, just this season. Orin, Sapp, and Timothy, Black Forest Guardians, and the aforementioned Uptow's Chosen Grung leading the way. Just behind them in the silver spot are Yoron Sergerius and the crowd.
Huzzah!
Yeah. I do want to say, let me know either if you guys are part of the league, let me know personally, or if you aren't part of the league, let me know in the comments on the YouTube channel. If you want the crowd to stay in here as a stat, I can remove them as the top 10. They're probably going to stay here all season. If you like to see it, we'll leave it. If not, I'll get rid of it and we'll actually just highlight the players. But just let me know. In the bronze spot, Rebecca Cold and Two Croc with 15 SPP, and then just behind them, but still in the top 10, Jolf Mammoth from the Gloomstalker Dragonaires, Taguchi Main from the Lizards with Attitude, El Cuchillo from the dearly departed Chololo Luchadors. He has been retired along with the team. They have found their enlightening. And then Titsa of the Sky from the Grung as well. So is Grung the only duplicates?
believe so.
Lizzes.
It would
Lizzes.
appear
Lizzes.
Go
so.
Lizzes,
Oh,
yeah.
Grung and the Lizzes. So 2 teams to look out for.
Yeah.
They're
I will
not.
say I started doing more stuff with Titsa because
Yeah.
I need him to get his next level up faster.
All
So
right. So
you
hey.
may see Timothy slow down on that rise.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll have to see. All right. Then we talk about the scoring side of the game. Our league leaders, Timothy and Two Croc, lead the way with 5 touchdowns apiece. Just behind them, Yoron Sajarius and Titsa with 4 touchdowns. So a lot of scores coming from the Chosen Grung. Chuck Geiger, Forrest Stump, and Ubaldin Therer with 3 touchdowns. And then behind them, Jolth Mammoth, Taguchi Main, and Madeline Daredevil Murdoch from the Butchers Bay Dragons with 2. There are plenty of other 2-touchdown scorers that didn't fit on the top 10, but those guys are El Cuchillo, our Snotling from the Luchadors, Alkadike Bright Moon from the New England Matriarchs, Max Meller from the Lizzes with Attitude, Rockstead from the Manhattan Mutant Mayhem, Professor Colonel Sanders from the Mudclaws, rest in peace. Casey Bug from the Mudclaws, rest in peace. And I think that is the list. Yes, that's the full list of 2 touchdowns. So there are some more that deserve the spotlight here. So we're going to call them out, and eventually this touchdown scoreboard should spread to where there is a true top 10. But as far as interceptions go, nothing's changed. It's still Lysar from the Dark Iron and the Sharob from the Dragonaires, the only 2 to do an interception this year. So we'll see. We'll see if it changes.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We thought after 2 in week 1, we thought there would be more, but it hasn't proven to be so. All right.
Calm down.
We had 1 in 3 seasons, then 2 in the first game of the next season. So
Yeah.
like what?
I don't know. I don't know what's happening, but it's fine. It's the way Nuffle intends it. All right. And then for our passing and catching, the passing chart, Gnarled Barkley, although suffering a devastating injury that's going to inhibit his agility, still leads the league with 7 passes. Timothy is a bit behind him at 4. And then in the bronze spot, Jolth Mammoth, Slutch Keenbender, and Tretch Venomfang all sit at. That is not right.
Those 2 are silver.
I didn't adjust that. My apologies. Timothy, Mammoth, and Keenbender are on silver, and then in the bronze spot, Venomfang, Vermin Skulkers, has 3. Just behind that, Chuck Geiger still has 2 passes to his name. Tits of the Sky, Coven Striker, Dagalos, and Rock Grip are at 1 pass apiece. For our catchers, the receiving end of the above stat, Forrest Stump is in the lead with 6 catches. He's the man, but he's got a good guy throwing it to him. And then in our silver spot, Titsa, Sneak Claw, and Stank Dustbuster are at 2. And then everyone else is considered bronze in this state. Timothy, Mammoth, Coven Striker, Dagalos, Orange Sap, and Rat Chungus Cankertail are all at 1 catch apiece. So
Daedalus is new.
Yes, Daedalus is the newly hired runner for the Dragonaires, so he's getting involved early. There is also other 1-catch players that are not on the list. Corpit Crowquest from the Undeheim Mighty Rats, Lulu Stormfang from the Amazonian Snoo Snoos, Demethus Warius from the Gloomstalker Dragonaires, Dorg Shadowwood from the Gloomstalker Dragonaires, Grundy Grediger from the Gloomstalker Dragonaires. The Dragonaires are really using their dump off this season, and they are dishing it out. Anyone can get it. They are a passing machine, and we'd love to see it. Hicks from the Los Alamos Aliens, Dorpheus, who has been fired, but from the Los Alamos Aliens, Kermit from the Chosen Grung, Dart from the Chosen Grung, and Longshank Stilltail from the Vermin Skulkers. So other 1-catch guys as that list starts to spread out. All right, now it's on to the fun stuff. Again, the crowd is at the lead in casualties, but again, they're at every game. Also, let me know if you want to see that. If you don't want to see it, we'll remove them, but we'll see. But on the true gold spot, Streketh Craven Slayer from the Undeheim Mighty Rats, that Rat Ogre is angry. Just behind him in the true silver spot, you've got Nori, Owen and Izumata, all from the Concept of Dark Iron, and then Bogart from the Chosen Grung, and then Zug getting it done. And also La Caminante de la Sombra from the Luchadors. And then just behind them, Sevius Lysar with 2, and Rebecca Colt from the Dragons with 2. As far as kills, there hasn't been much change. No one's gotten that second kill yet. So if you're on this list...
I'm trying.
If you're on this list, get to it. What's interesting is there was only one addition to the kills list, and that was who got the kill? Yeah.
Was it Coach Klein and himself?
No, because well, I didn't add. So technically, Professor Colonel Sanders did record a kill, but it was on himself. So it doesn't count as a kill for him. So that one's not on the list. Oh, it was Zug. Sorry. Zug is the only addition to this list from last week because Zug got the kill last night playing for the Polypore Pipers. And then in our fouls, we've got a 3-way tie for gold. Aliplex, only 2 fouls came in the first game, I believe, and haven't accrued any more since.
He's been trying.
So Alplex, get on it, man. Just behind him, a pair of Mud Claws, Farmer Fran and Vicky Valancourt at 2 fouls each. So the Mud Claws are putting the boot in, and they're doing it well. Coach Klein right behind him. I didn't even see that till just now. And then in our silver spot, Taguchi Main, El Cuchillo, Baxter Superfly Stockman, Sail Twitchfinger, a Journey Dwarf from the Dark Iron. We never did catch his name before he took his cash and ran. But he is enshrined here for now. And Sokum Rackham from the Vermin Skulkers with 1. So good stuff. Before we continue, anything to say about the stats? Anything you guys want to point out, share? I know it's just a lot of me reading stuff, so I want to give you guys a second if you want it.
Just that you're going to expect to see me on the foul and kill board more.
All right. Good to hear. Any more promises? I like promises.
Expect more dwarves on that, higher up on that list. And hopefully we can pull out that second kill.
I don't know if I'll be able to get that second kill. I'm probably just going to stick it to 1.
Love to see.
I'm happy with 1.
Those pillow hands always stay close.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all I got, though.
All right. Wonderful. All right, everyone, cue your violins. Write your epitaphs. It's time to get into this week's obituaries. So a moment of silence as we mourn Professor Colonel Sanders, a skink from the SCLSU Mudclaws. Gone too soon. And Will F. Scompton, from a Dark Elf lineman from the Gloomstalker Dragonaires. So may they and their families rest in peace. Our thoughts and Nuffle prayers go out to these two and those affected.
He looks to be dancing, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
he's happy to be dead.
He was happy in life. All right, so now let's talk about the team standings. Is anyone's season dead yet? At what point do we put those on the obituaries? I don't know, but yeah. So we have the Luchadors. They are still on here. The Polypore Pipers take place in their stead. Well, we will remove the Luchadors from this list next time. Just wanted to show that they're still on there because the Pipers are standing in for them. They are going to receive the Luchadors' previous record and the points that come associated with that. So they do sit with 3 points, having gotten 3 ties. So happy to know, Joe. She's keeping up your tradition.
I'm very proud.
The ties are rolling in strong. But yeah, so playoff pictures as we get just a little over. We're about to get halfway through the season. The Dark Iron and the Elizabeth Attitude still hold that number 1 spot at 4-0 apiece. The Matriarchs and the Guardians are in the second place spot. The Guardians come up, I think, 6 spots from last week. or 5 spots from last week, which is crazy, but that's the way it goes. The Mud Claws in the 3 spot and the Dragonaires in the 3 spot in each respective division, and then the Dragons and the Aliens sitting on that bubble. So if they were to end today, the Dark Iron would take on the Aliens, which they will take on this following week. So maybe a sign of things to come. The Lizards with Attitude would take on the Dragons. The Matriarchs would take on the Dragonaires, and the Mudclaws would take on the Guardians. So, fun stuff. Anything stand out as far as standings? Anything you guys want to chime in with?
Matriarch shooting up there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And congrats to the Black Forest for clawing their way back.
We're trying.
I think we're now starting to get into that area of the season where playoff picture is becoming more and more of a steady visual.
Yep.
I mean, there are still plenty of contenders that are just outside of that 4th spot
Absolutely.
playoff position, but it's like, I mean, and it's still anybody's chance to get in.
Yeah, so right now the 4th spot for playoffs is 4 points. So not a lot. A win and a tie is what separates absolute zero from a playoff spot right now in the second. So I don't think anyone's statistically been eliminated yet. I'm not smart enough to do all that math, but I don't know if there's been any clinches yet. I know Liz's with Attitude and the Dark Iron are both at 9 points. I imagine if they win this week, I would imagine 12 probably clinches you playoffs. But again, I don't know. Maybe we'll work for next Wartscenter to get more of a concrete picture after week 5, and we'll get back with you guys. But yeah, I think some people are looking really good. Some people are on the cusp. I don't think anyone's out of it yet. So fun. A lot of fun to be had still here.
Indeed. I cannot wait to see the Pipers take it all this season.
Yeah, I mean, right on the cusp, man. 3 points is what she's currently at. So just one away. And she gets to play a few of these teams yet still. So a chance to.
Beating her tied. All right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So she sees the Guardians, I think, before our winter break. And then so that's a chance to jump, and then I don't know who else she has, but yeah, a couple more matches. So yeah, it'll be an exciting watch. And then I mean, Grung too. Also, you're right here at 3. And Ivan at 3. You guys are right. You're a point away. You're a point out. So these next few games are really gonna shake things up. So.
Oh, you'll all see.
Yep.
This is the season of me.
Yep. This is where it gets fun. The games matter now. It's fun stuff. So.
It gets nuts. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. So with another week of games comes another week of power rankings brought to you by our analysts. We have some changes. The Dark Iron maintain the number 1 spot in most people's eyes, except for Aggie's. So Ivan, you'll be happy to know that Aggie has said he's on your side. Liza's number 1. That's the team.
They know.
They know. Yeah. Anything to say about the power rankings? Yeah, and maybe you will. Maybe that's bulletin board material being number 2. Some notable changes. The Skulkers unfortunately dropped down into the lucky Skaven number 13 across the board. So maybe that's an omen of good things to come for them. The Guardians and the Dragonaires all hop up a few spots. The Pipers are in here roughly at where the Luchadors left off. But we still got to wait and see what they got. A couple more games before we start to jumble them around a little bit. Yeah. Any thoughts about the power rankings? Anything stand out to y'all?
I'm just happy the only 2 people above me are the ones who've had a perfect season so far.
Yeah.
I do think it's a little bullshit that Winkins has dropped me 3 rankings, but just bulletin board material. We'll get there.
Fair enough. Yeah, there were some things that did come up a little strange on this one, but yeah, it they're hard at work trying to figure out where the hell we all belong. and by
Jenkins
the
believes in your words, not your actions.
Yep.
In this case,
Yep. Yep. All right. So, I'm gonna power through the changes that were made to each organization over the last week. If you guys have anything you want to call out or say, just cut me off and we'll get through it. So the Mighty Rats, they come down. They're in our last spot now, from 13 to 14 over the last week. They're short Cindertail and Skyshrieker and Dustbuster this upcoming week. But Keenbender, their thrower, has gained Cannoneer. So maybe some more passing in their future as they move on to right the ship of their season and look for that elusive first win. The Vermin Skulkers are going to be missing Screer, one of their linemen this week, but they do replace him in a big way with a Rat Ogre. I've reached out to the media, and they have yet to confirm the name of this Rat Ogre, but I'm sure we will have it soon. We're looking forward to who our new big rat is in town. Unfortunately,
and he will make all of the rules.
We shall see. They're also going to be short Venom Fang, their thrower, for this next match. And then coming off of that last loss, the rank drops from 10 to 13. So again, also chasing that elusive first win. It's been a little hard to be Skaven this year, but I have a feeling that the Rats will come to rue. The Gloomstalker Dragonaires, after their tie, have come up from the last place spot and are now sitting at number 12. However, they took a bit of a beating against the Pipers. Ruiz is missed next game. They are missing one of their linemen who is dead. And but they've gotten some skills, so both of the runners gain a level. Running pass for Mammoth, and Dagolos gains leader. So one's becoming a true passing prodigy, while the other is trying to help stabilize the rest of the team with that much needed reroll. Black Forest Guardians are going to be out star thrower Gnarled Barkley this week, and Douglas Fur, one of their linemen. Forrest Stump does gain his first skill finally, and he does now have dodge, so that's great. They come up one in the rankings from 12 to 11 as they go to meet the Skulkers for another fun match. The Snoo, no changes that we are aware of at this time, but we'll see what happens as they move on to face the Manhattan Mutant Mayhem, I believe. Correct. All right, the Butcher's Bay Dragons gets out of the Lizard matchup relatively unscathed. Michael Fitzwilliam, one of the Blitzers, will be missing next game, however. But the Witch Elf, Rebecca Cold, had herself a day and comes out with enough SPP to take block and tackle. So from a team,
yeah, I'm not excited about that.
From a team that was a little behind, I think, in SPP due to a string of bad luck games. Now they've got a player, a superstar, if you will, in that. So the rank also comes up from 11 to 8, so they are on their way up and looking to make them playoffs. All right, the Manhattan Mutant Mayhem. Bebop, unfortunately, suffered an injury and he will miss next game. But after an unfortunate and untimely death to one of the blockers, the Mayhem organization has hired their replacement. Ralphie is here. He's big. He's a blocker, and he's ready to tear up the pitch. So that's good to get 4 blockers back, and he'll be joined with Leon, Donnie, and Mick, the other blockers, and Leatherhead from last game. So a full assortment for the Mayhem as they move on.
We're at full power.
Full power, and they sit at power ranking 7. No change, but we'll see what happens. The Los Alamos Aliens, still undecided on what changes are happening with that team. We'll have to see, but we'll have the latest updates as soon as we get them coming off of the forfeit. So this is what they're currently rocking with as they move on to their next match against the Khazad-dûm Dark Iron. All right, the New England Matriarchs stay at rank 5. They make it out with no injuries. So everyone is there. Everyone's healthy. And Alkadike Bright Moon, their blitzer, gains sure hands. So one of the Amazons is stepping up and saying she's ready to be a bona fide ball carrier. So exciting stuff from New England. The SC LSU Mudclaws dropped 2 in the rankings after a tie with the Dragons. And a unfortunate death of Professor Colonel Sanders leaves them a skink short. Townie Rob is also going to be out for medical reasons this next game. So they have hired Derek Walleye, the Chameleon Skink, to try to bolster their forces. We'll see how that works for him. Exciting. We're excited to have Derek with us and see how he does in light of Casey, their previous Chameleon Skink that has also been dearly departed. But in other news, Farmer Fran picks up Sneaky Git. So another fouling piece on the pitch. Maybe Farmer Fran's looking to make his way up that foul leaderboards. We'll have to see. All right, the Ubtal's chosen Grung looks like no changes. There was one. You hired somebody or something, didn't you?
Yeah, I hired him at just before the last name, number 13, Gore.
Okay.
A lineman.
Yep. So we're adding another lineman here, as they remain at rank 3, looking to climb the leaderboards and build on their 2-1-1 record. All right, the Lizards with Attitude, undefeated, unstoppable seemingly. They pick up block on belly roll their Saurus, and Gek Ross gets his second advancement and gets guard to try to help out some of those other Saurus. The Lizards are rolling as they look to maintain that perfect record. And up 2 in the rankings, from 4 to 2. And at our number 1 spot, no change from last week, and why would there be? The Khazad-dûm Dark Iron. They remain in the number 1 spot. They get out of their last match with no injuries, so everyone's full and healthy. And they do add, it's not in red because I forgot to do it, they do add Callisto Sepetix, another lineman, to just keep dwarves out there and keep dwarves beaten.
I also have more updates for you.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you want to share them now, more than welcome to.
More than welcome. Yeah. Number 6, Yoran Sedidarius, the runner, has taken leader.
Okay, so we've got a leader dwarf now.
Yep, and Dory has taken Mighty Blow.
Okay. So every lineman short of the new guy now has Mighty Blow, and an extra reroll comes in for the dwarves in the name of Sedidarius. So dwarves are rolling.
I personally am shocked by the Mighty Blow.
Didn't see it coming, did you?
Who could have guessed? All right. All right, without further ado, we'll get to our final section of the night. It is week 5. We've got a whole slate of matches for you. The Undheim Mighty Rats take on the Gloomstalker Dragonaires. The Lizards with Attitude are going to go into a lizard off with the SCLSU Mudclaws. Little lizard on lizard action. We'd love to see it. The Vermin Skulkers will take on the Black Forest Guardians. The Ubtal's Chosen Grung take on the Butcher's Bay Dragons. The Los Alamos Aliens look to dethrone the Khazad-dûm Dark Iron with their 3 big guys. The Amazonian Snoo will take on the Manhattan Mutant Mayhem. And in our marquee matchup, as voted by the league as a whole, the Polypore Pipers will be debuting on stream against the New England Matriarchs. Now,
they just wanted to see foxes.
Yep, a little context. This game has a scheduling issue, so it won't happen on the day that you normally see it on Twitch. It'll still go up on the same day that it does on YouTube. But since this game will be happening, I believe, on the following Monday, that's when you'll see that on Twitch, as opposed to our normal Wednesday stream times. So, exciting stuff. All right. Now let's talk about the matches. The Underhigh Mighty Rats will host the Gloomstalker Dragonaires. The Underhigh Mighty Rats are favored by 0.28. And the analysts, Aggie says the Mighty Rats. However, Lucy and Boomer are going with the Dark Elves here. What do you guys think?
I think I gotta agree with Boomer and Lucifer, as I see the Dragonaires taking this one.
Rerolls, 3 rerolls. He's got leader. Like, well, with the rerolls, he's got 3 of them.
Yep.
Running pass. Yeah, I could see him sneaking in. There's not a whole lot of petty cash going around, so nothing really too bad to worry about there.
Yeah, what you see is what you're gonna get with this game. No crazy inducements that will change the play at all. So I think with the Dragonaires' new toolkit, I think they can eke it out.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Mighty Rats on this one. I think they have shown to be able to come back from some crazy ass deficits or like in not the best positions and still manage to score and potentially win games. The Dragonaires are playing very well and are doing a great job, but I have a feeling it's the time for the Rats to rise.
What do you got, Joe?
Certainly a tie.
All right. Love it. Yeah, I mean for me what I see here is a tale of a discrepancy in health, right? If it were fully healed, I would give my nod to the Rats. But we're running, if you guys noticed, only one gutter runner for Underheim. And then the kick, block, claw lineman, which kick is integral to what the Mighty Rats do. They like to get the ball where they want it and where they need it to sneak a score past you. And claw, which could have helped take care of some of these higher armored elves. It's just not going to be there. So I think I lean slightly to the Dragonaires, but this will be a good match, no doubt. This will be a very good one. All right. The Lizards with Attitude go against the SCLSU Mudclaws. The line
This
is
was my vote.
Yes, this was also initially my vote. This was also one that is going to have to be scheduled on a different day. So it ended up not being eligible because I wouldn't be there for that one, most likely. But it is a shame because this will be an excellent match. But the Lizards are favored at a little over half a touchdown at 0.64. The analyst desk, Aggie says Lizards, Boomer says Lizards, but Lucifer says Mudclaws. What do you guys think? Which lizard takes the cake here?
On a personal note, I think the Lizards of Attitude are going to take it. And that's just kind of a hope, because if he crushes them too bad, that could be less things that I have to go up against.
Fair.
So a hope, not less of a prediction, but a hope.
Fair enough.
I have said it before, and I'm going to say it again.
And I think we'll hear it 4 more times.
You'll hear it at least 4 more times. Undefeated Liz's season of green, baby.
Yep.
They're going to take it all.
All right.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be overall. I mean, it's Lizards on Lizards. It's gonna be a chaotic and fun match, regardless. Like,
I'm so sad this won't be the streamed one.
Yeah. It is a shame.
I think both coaches are doing very well with their respective teams. One redraft Lizard, one not redraft, and a brand new coach. But just looking at it as I can see it, it's like I love the sneaky get skinks. We got 2 sneaky get skinks on both sides, so we're going to be seeing lots of fouls. I know one coach in particular loves it and it's his passion. But I'm just looking at, I'm just breaking down just simple like odds here, and it's like we have 2 block sources versus 4 block sources, so it's just one of those.
Yep.
Block guard and brawler source. It's just
Yep.
a lot of he can beat that, but it's not to his advantage to try
Yep.
to. But it's just one of those things.
I think this match might come down to the margin between the team value.
Hmm.
However, how
Oh,
that
yeah.
150 is used will probably be the outcome. will probably.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's Lizard on Lizard. It's everyone. Both are fully powered. They have their full complement of rostered players.
There's
But
not a whole lot to get with 150 for Lizards, though.
no, but yeah. I just think if there's something clever out there, that might be the tipping point that gets the Mudclaws over the edge. But yeah, I think it'll be a great match. It's a shame if if they would just lift those blackout restrictions on the Northern Kingdoms, we could just record all the games all the time.
Unfortunately, contracts are what contracts are.
We just need like 50 cameras. It'll be fine.
Yeah, all fair game.
I'm sending the unit, and it's all our cameras.
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right.
I hope they kill each other.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
I'm sure they will.
Okay, the Vermin Skulkers take on the Black Forest Guardians. The line is set, the Black Forest Guardians, by almost the smallest of margins we can give it, 0.02, as these are both pretty low-ranked teams at the moment. Yeah, the analysts are firm in picking the Guardians here. But there's, what, 80... There's 75K difference. What do you guys think?
I think with the difference, an inducement could be made that will really even the playing field. But also, you got the Ogre in there, and the Skulkers coach is warming up. So I think you're still going to have to work for it either way.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that.
No doubt about that. That all being said, I see this being a low-score game, and I see the Skulkers scoring 1 touchdown, and I see the Guardians scoring 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think this is where we get to see Vermin Skulkers get their first touchdown at least.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a massive speed difference here, so I think that'll be huge.
I'm thinking minimum of like a 1-2 in favor of the Guardians, or a possible tie. Like,
Yep. Oh yeah.
but I mean, also if stuff starts going wrong for one team and great for the other, I can see it going the other way too. It's just more.
Prove us wrong, Skulkers.
Yeah,
Prove us wrong.
let's go.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I will say, like, the matchup is interesting, having just come off of a Skaven matchup. From my perspective, like, Skaven's hard work with this complement of this type of team. Because there's not a ton of answers from my camp. We do have one tackle piece that can try to help, but having positionals that are nearly double my speed makes it really tough positioning game. So yeah, Skaven's a tough one, but
I fully believe that the Skulkers are going to win this one.
all right.
Hell yeah.
I've seen it countless times that somehow the universe itself has decided that your dice rolls are shit. You will suck this whole game no matter what you do. So I'm hoping that this time the Skulkers will have the luck of the draw.
Hey,
and Whitey will have a terrible time.
that would be great.
I always wish misfortune upon the Guardians coach. So
That's fair, and I accept it with love. All right. Yeah. No. I mean, I'm heating up. I get one more and I'm hot. So we'll see what happens.
Can't let that happen.
All right. The Uptow's Chosen Grung take on the Butcher's Bay Dragons. The Dragons are favored at 0.41. Aggie believes that that's true. However, Lucy and Boomer are saying Grung are hot right now. What do you guys think?
seeing as their frog legs kicked my turtle ass, I'm handing it to the Grung on this one.
Indeed, those slippery bastards
Slippery bastards.
get around whether you like it or not. Though those elves do have potential of catching them, at least. And if he plays it right, he can definitely kill some frogs. But yeah, the Grong might take this one.
Yeah, I think looking at these rosters and just knowing the coaches, it's definitely going to be it's going to be a back and forth match for both coaches. I think that extra tackle piece is definitely going to be great for like the Dark Elf coach to come in and possibly be harassing more of your dodge pieces, but you just have they're so slippery that they will have to, preemptively expect you to try to do jumps and see with how they can handle the jumping and see what they do with that. Yeah, similar speeds. Yeah, it's
Yep.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
Dragon,
6 and 7. The thing I'm looking at is he's missing one of his block pieces.
Yep.
Got 2 witch elves.
mm-hmm.
I mean, considering I went up against the other Dark Elf team earlier in the season, and they had I think 4 or 5 block pieces, no witch elves.
Mm-hmm.
I think I give it to myself just because, like you said, with he has tackle, but that doesn't really do a whole lot when it doesn't stop me from jumping away from him. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But he does have 225K of petty
Yes.
cash, so he's got some tasty choices
I
to
was
make.
Yep.
I was choosing to ignore that part.
Dragons get to go shopping.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm sure they'll attempt to bring an equalizer.
Maybe Krieg. We'll see.
I don't think
God, I-
elves have access to that, but
Thank
Damn.
God.
yeah,
Aw.
yeah. The only tricky shit elves get is chainsaw. No other secret weapons, I believe.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, this looks
I
to be
could
a good
deal with
one.
a chainsaw.
This one looks to be a good one. It's a more of an agility based matchup, so those are always fun to see, in my opinion. So yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
Go ahead. The Los Alamos aliens take on the Khazad-dûm Dark Iron. The Khazad-dûm is favored, unsurprisingly, at half a touchdown, and the analysts are saying Dark Iron, they're taking the win. What do you guys think?
With respect, sorry, Brando. I think the Dark Iron are gonna clap some alien cheeks.
Yeah.
On a personal note, I really want the Lost Alien, Alos aliens, whatever, to take the win, and by a large margin, because I have to go up against this team, the Dark Iron, in like 3 games or something like that, and I don't need so many of whatever that is.
Everything. Yeah. It's like that all needs to go.
So less of a prediction, more of a hope. My
I love it.
I love playing against Brando. I love playing against the aliens. It's a great team. Another redraft team. Their team is building very, very well, and it's just going to be a very fun match. I have to give it to myself just because I can't doubt myself. Never doubt, won't doubt. But yeah, I mean, that's just it will be a very interesting match. It's just gonna be it'll be fun. It's just gonna be a fun match. It's gonna be a non-divisional match for both of us, so we're both just gonna be having a fun time.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if anyone could take a game off you, I feel like this matchup has potential. Personally,
Oh yeah.
because the Chaos Renegades team, like, they have multiple big guys, and that is kind of the equivalent to your army of little guys in a way.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it'll just depend on how those interactions shake out. I think will dictate what happens by the end of this game. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh, by the gods, I know how this one's gonna go.
Yep.
There will be songs and generationals talking about the ass whooping that the Dark Irons are going to deliver upon these poor alien butts. Dear Lord.
Yep.
He may retire the team after the unspeakable things he's going to do to his butt.
They may call it an extinction event. Who knows?
Indeed.
But we will know later today. Well, when this comes out later today.
Later today.
Yeah. All right. The Snoo take on the Mayhem. The Mayhem are favored at 0.27 of a touchdown, and the Mayhem are also favored by all of the analysts. What say you?
I will always advocate for myself. I think I'm going to win.
Yep.
I'm going to have to give it to the Mutant Mayhem as well.
I'm calling it 2 touchdowns, and I'm calling I'm going to get 3 Kazes.
All right.
I'm gonna say no to the Kazes. I don't think that one's happening.
It might.
Maybe one Kaz. I do think that at the very least the Amazons are gonna get 1 touchdown and probably 2 passes.
I could definitely see that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, one side is there to hurt, and the other is looking to leverage all of the dodge on their team. So
I will say, after I've already faced Amazons this season, I've learned a few things.
Yep.
Which is bad news for the snoo.
So yeah, I mean, you have some history with it. You also have multiple strip ball pieces. So
I do.
While dodge is a great skill to make sure you hold on to the ball, it's not going to matter depending on who you're hitting with. So there's some player on player matchups that are a little tricky here for the snoo. So yeah, it'll be an interesting match for sure. All right. And the moment we've all been waiting for, our finale. Coming at you live next week. The Polypore Pipers will have their second match against the New England Matriarchs. The Matriarchs are favored just out of pure, we don't know what's going to happen by 0.1. Aggie and Lucy are firm in that prediction, but Boomer says, hey, Pipers are here, and they're here to play. They're ready to play some Blood Bowl. What do you guys think?
I think this is going to be the matchup of the century because everyone's very quick and very slippery.
Yeah.
So I don't think those trees are going to get much work, but I could see the Pipers eking out a win here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the Pipers are going to take it. Honestly, just they came out real strong with their first game. They're down 2 pieces, but I think the trees are probably going to get at least 1 Kaz.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's going to have a hard time dealing with the Foxes.
Yep.
And those 2 guard pieces that she'll be rocking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and whatever she decides to bring with $330,000.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting.
Tier 3 is interesting.
Place
So,
to be.
yeah.
Though I must say, until we inevitably give her the championship trophy after she crushes the dwarves or the lizards, I will say the lovely matriarchs, I'm sure, will put up a solid fight as they take this loss this week.
I mean, that's also what I'm hoping for, considering the beatdown that the Matriarchs gave me.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting matchup, right? We have 2 guard pieces on the Pipers, and we have 2 defensive pieces on the Matriarchs. We have a team whose whole thing is they all get dodge, and then we have a team whose whole thing is they have wrestle jump up. So they're both playing a one-dimensional like angle, but the opposite one. So it's really interesting. There will not be a defender stumble or a both down that makes any sense in this game. But I think it'll be a lot of fun for that reason. But yeah, I mean, I can't bet against the Pipers, or else my relationship would maybe be in question.
Be bad.
So I'm gonna say,
I know you just had a wedding.
Pipers win.
I'd keep that investment in the bag.
Not that it was going to change my opinion anyway, but yeah. So we'll have to see. So hey, Matriarchs, it's yours to prove apparently everyone wrong here. Looking forward to seeing how this match shakes out, and it'll be live on Twitch at some point once we get that scheduled. But the replay will be coming to you on time this following Wednesday. So anything else from the Peanut Gallery before we get out of here?
I've got nothing.
Blood Bowl.
Oh,
Good luck to all the coaches. It'll be a fun. Let's have a fun week, and look forward to see everyone. And may Nuffle be ever in my favor.
Keep it dirty.
Yep. All right. Well, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you guys for listening to the update on the league, and you'll catch us here next week on our match, and then the week following here on Wartscenter. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye bye.